To start this off, I'd like to reiterate my title. Stop complaining that Frank is gone. Please. I still see on every single new song that Joji releases, you have tons of comments that are just like this. We all know what that extra hair was used for. No matter what he does, I can still see
Fuck you! I fucking hate you!
And it's not even just comments that people are making on videos. People are genuinely trying to go after Joji as if he's selling out by doing this transition from going from Filthy Frank to being Joji now. This kind of stuff keeps getting on my nerves, and if you're really confused as to why I would be upset with Frank fans, well, then I'm gonna give you a few reasons why I think people need to just start accepting Joji's new art form. I'll start off by telling you why I did the new like that. Joji has been making music for a while now.
I got a story that'll waggle your balls. It's called me being the greatest, thus requires applause. I recall a dropping shit like I shattered my drawers, a big sack like Santa Claus.
No, not that music. That's Pink Guy. I mean that Joji has been making music since October 8th of 2015, which is 3 years ago. The reason why it's so important to go back and see how long he's been doing music for like this is because if you look and compare how long he's been doing music as Joji versus the videos that he was making as Frank at the same time, you'll notice that Joji has been around since some of the most iconic Frank videos. You can see that Joji's song Thom came out, like I said, in October 8th of 2015. But you know what came just 6 days before that song came out? The video 100 Accurate Life Hacks, which would go down as being one of the most iconic Filthy Frank videos ever.
Are those birds outside chirping a little too loud? Well, just fucking kill them!
What about his song You Suck Charlie? That came out in December 7th of 2015. Well, only 4 days later, It's Just a Prank Bro came out. Also, another classic on the Filthy Frank channel.
What's your name? Mary. Nice to meet you. Fuck you. You just got pranked, bro. Fuck you.
Pranked!
Fucking whore.
By the time that he had made the full switch over to being just Joji, he had already put out 11 singles, including his breakout song, Will He. Which came out October 17th of 2017, but the last time he had uploaded as Frank was in September 27th of 2017, meaning that this was a process he was thinking about for a very long time. To add on to that, now that you know that the transition wasn't completely out of nowhere, I'm gonna go over the reasons why he personally said he couldn't continue doing Frank and Pink Guy. I'll cover the tweet that he put out on the Filthy Frank account first. Basically, without reading out the full tweet to you, he just didn't enjoy doing the type of content he was making. He further explained this in an interview he did with Billboard, saying, "It was a humor that I started when I was in high school, so naturally, as I got older, I got tired of that humor. People's taste change. People's humor change." We gotta remember that he's 26 years old right now, meaning that when he stopped doing Filthy Frank, he was already 25 years old. He had been doing the character of Filthy Frank since August 5th of 2011. This all started on a different channel he had called Disaster Music, meaning he had gone through with being Frank for 6 years.
I'd like to share with you a little story. I tend to have explosive diarrhea, like shit just flies all over the place.
I want to talk about something that's been plaguing the whole world. The overuse of drones. Basically a toy helicopter that's less pedophilic.
That would mean that when he started doing the Filthy Frank character, he was only 19 years old. In that amount of time, people change drastically. The next issue is about health concerns with throat tissue damage. That makes sense considering him going, "Hey, what's up, it's your boy Filthy Frank here." Probably didn't help his voice, and especially the fact that he smokes. So yeah. his voice wasn't exactly doing too well. The other medical issue that he brushes past in this tweet is the fact that he says that he had a neurological condition which he didn't want to get too deep into. For those of you who don't know what that means, I want to guide you on an amazing tour to the only place where I could find what that meant. I had to go to the Internet Archive. Basically, it's just a site that archives old stuff that people have uploaded but then gets taken down. On here you can see that on May 3rd of 2014, he uploaded this video.
So I'm gonna be straight up with you guys. I have not been well the last couple months. Long story short, I was born with this, but I was recently diagnosed with a brain condition that ironically gives me seizures. You know, this whole time we thought it was so funny doing these fake seizures, and now some call it bad luck, some call it karma, but unfortunately what happens here is a lot of the seizures are actually induced by stress, which unfortunately a lot of it comes from running this show. It's tough.
I can't imagine what kind of weight that would put on someone like that. It's one thing to enjoy the fact that you get to be this fun internet meme that every single teenager who's in a friend group, you get your lines repeated by them non-stop throughout the year back and forth to each other, but it had a lot of repercussions on the guy. When it came to this whole situation, you didn't lose Frank to Joji. We're lucky we got Joji at all, really. It's important to remember that if he had never decided to take music seriously, we might not even have a replacement to Filthy Frank and Pink Guy. That could have been George's ultimate end to his career. By him becoming Joji, we got to see him evolve, and we get to see him push for what he actually wants to do in his life, which as a true fan, we should want that for him. While researching for this, I actually found a forum of people who claimed that Joji had actually started blocking comments on his Instagram if people referenced the Filthy Frank show. A lot of people speculate that the reason why he would do something like this is because he started feeling as if people didn't look at him as a human being, that they just looked at him as this character that wasn't real. Even if you do a callback to the 2014 video, you can see him clearly feeling this way still.
Because a lot of the stress came from the idea that you guys don't realize that I exist as well as a human. There's Frank, there's Pink Guy, there's Salamander Man, there are all these wonderful fuckers living here, but then there's me as well, and people not knowing that I existed and that it was just these guys really gave me a lot of stress, you know, because I'm a normal person, just like the rest of you guys.
And that was all the way back in 2014. Not even when he was at the height of his career yet. He already felt like people weren't taking him as a human being who has things that he has to do, and it really isn't great for people like that. He even went as far as to delete everything off of his Filthy Frank Twitter page, except for a single retweet. You can't even go back and find his original apology tweet for saying that he was done as Frank. Joji wants people to see him as an actual person with goals and with loves and things that he wants to do with his life, not just this fake character that he came up with when he was going into college. I think at the end of the day, it's cool to keep your great memories of how much fun you had watching Frank. I know I'll always hold on to the fun times I had being with my friends and us listening to the Pink Guy songs and watching Filthy Frank on a TV all together in a living room. When I told a couple of my friends back from high school that I was going to be making this video, my one friend actually said he felt the same way about how he wants to go with Frank and move on to this new stage of Joji, and that's why he went and saw his show in the 8/8 Rising concert in Toronto to support him with what he wants to do. No matter if he's Pink Guy, Filthy Frank, Chin Chin, Joji, any other name that he goes by. George Miller is one of the most creative people of our generation. I hope you guys did enjoy this video. I know I had a lot of fun working on this, as I have been through absolutely everything when it comes to watching Frank, to seeing him evolve into Joji, and One of my first playlists ever created had one of Joji's songs that I showed you in this video in it. I used SoundCloud for the first time listening to one of his songs. So, yeah, I care about the dude when it comes to what he wants to do. So, I hope you guys had a fantastic time. Like I said, it brought back a lot of great memories to make this video. So I hope you enjoyed. Goodbye.
I just fell in love.